Okay guys, I wanted to make a little video here today on this Ford Explorer Sport Trac with the 4-liter single rotor cam motor. It's my cousin's, and she had took it to a place to have checked out because it was running bad. It had some codes in it, I guess, and I assume they scanned it, and I'm assuming they were supposed to have fixed it because she said that they were supposed to have done a tune-up on this thing. Well, come to find out, this thing still has the original plug wires on it. She was charged over $200 to do this, and she brought it to me to check out, see what it had. So I took a scan on it, and it come up with a number two cylinder misfire and a few other codes, EGR or lean codes on bank 1, bank 2, whatever. This is bank 1 on this side, because this is 1, 2, and 3 on this side. So number 2 is in the middle. So this is bank 1. So the lean codes were on this side. So, since I already confirmed it with her that said that they did a tune-up on it, I thought, well, I'm just going to check the plugs out. What the hell? This thing's got 184,000 miles on it. So I took the first plug out, and what do you know, if you look at it, this is the original plug. When they have a dab of paint on the end right here, that's from the factory. This is a factory plug, original, 184,000 miles. And look at the gap. The gap on these things are supposed to be 0.052 to 0.056. Now I'll show you the gap on this. That's the gap. 0.77. And it's supposed to be clear down to 0.052. So yeah. I wonder why I had a miss. So what I did was, I want to take number 2 plug. This is number 1 plug. So I want to take number 2 plug out. Well, on these things, I just got me my new ratchet. I purchased a new ratchet so I can do this and test it out. That's where number 2 spark plug is at. So I pull this number 2 out and show you what it looks like. Okay, here's number 2 plug with the misfire. So you can tell the gap is pretty wide on it. It's got some carbon buildup on it. And we'll look and see what the gap is. See, these are platinum plugs, and it's supposed to have an electrode doodad on the end of this thing, and it's not there no more. It's completely burned off. So we'll see what the plug gap is. Well, plug gap isn't as bad as what's on the other one, but this is cylinder said it had a misfire on. I'm surprised it didn't have more codes for misfires on this. But it had some dielectric grease on the end of it, and the end of the plug wire has dielectric grease in it, if you can see it here. It's full of crud down in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a full tune-up on this thing. I'm going to put plug wires and plugs in this and see what happens. I guarantee it will probably cure the problem with what's wrong with this thing. So I'll get back with you when I figure this out. Damn, that plug wasn't a fun one to get back in. And that's number 2. I gotta get to the number 3 yet back in there. I think I'm gonna have to get that through the wheel well. So yeah, these are fun to do on this side. Well, I'm doing the hard side first. And here's how you get to spark plug number 3 on these things. I could have got number 2 through here, but it was kind of a pain in the ass to get through here too. But there's how you get to number 3. You can't get it from the top. Gotta get it from down here. Fun. Now I'm actually hoping this side isn't as hard to do as what the passenger side was. This isn't too bad, I guess. But yeah, get this side done. We'll fire up and see if you got any more codes now. Spark plug out a number 4 hole. Look at the gap on it. It's over the scale. No wonder this thing didn't run right. I also want to show you guys this. This is how I've put plugs in for quite a while with this. So easy to use one of these instead of a plug and extension. Just use that's what I've used to put plugs in for a long time. You can reach down in, put them in with no problem. You got a little bit of flex to it, so if you need to flip it around or something, you got flex. So you can get right down in there and get the plug in. Bingo bango. That's what I do and how I work. You can see here, this is how I use it. Just go down and put it in. You can put it in real easy. It won't fall out of your socket, and then you can get your thing back off real easy. Unlike a socket, sometimes they get stuck on the plug when you try to take it out. See there, after you get it put in, just pop it right off. Comes right off like that. And I put my ratchet to damn good use too. Okay guys, these are the plugs out of this Explorer here. As you can see, these are on the driver's side. These three here on the driver's side. These are on the passenger side. So you can see they're pretty worn. These three here are all over 0.01, tenth of an inch over. Or no, they're tenth of an inch gap. So, yeah. Just no wonder this thing didn't run the best. Time to get her fired up and see if she runs now. I got the plug wires and plugs and everything done on it. So, time to start this bitch up and see if she runs good. Okay, I got this Explorer running and it still has a mist to it. So, scan the codes again. And here's the codes that I have in it. Well, let me clean this cover off here first. There, now we can see it better. So I got a cylinder 2 misfire detected. I got a differential pressure feedback EGR circuit high input. And system 2 lean bank 1. So, I've done some testing on this thing. And what I've come up with is, I do believe I have a bad injector. It looks like somebody's messed with this thing before, because I took some electrical tape off of this, found that somebody had replaced this pigtail before, and I wanted to make sure it was wired up right. But anyways, I've got injector pulse, I've got power, I've got voltage coming through the thing. I went and did check the continuity through the injector, and there's no continuity through the injector. So I do believe I've got a bad injector in here that I've got to replace. So even though that the plugs and plug wires helped, it runs a hell of a lot better than what it did, but still has a miss. And I do believe my miss is a bad, faulty injector. So I'm going to have to replace this injector and, yeah, see what happens. Because I've already tested it. There's no continuity through the injector. So, I've narrowed it down to being the injector. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So now I got to tear it apart and put an injector in it. So, off to the races. Okay, I'm going to try this real quick. These are fuel injectors out of this 4-liter Explorer motor, V6. And I'm going to show you how to test these things. And my bad one. Here's the bad one that I got out of that Explorer. I had a misfire on number 2. The misfire was caused by this injector. And I'll show you what it takes to test them. So I'm going to set this thing up here real quick and see if I can't get this thing to see in real time how it works. Okay. You take your test leads off your
Oh yeah. Maybe that'll work. Take your test leads. You touch one side to one side. And the other to the other side, see what it does. See there. See, it's got continuity through it. That's a good injector. Now this bad injector, you go to test it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing happens. So that tells me that the injector is bad. There's no continuity through it. So yeah, this injector here was causing the misfire. So yeah, since my cousin took this thing to a legitimate garage, and they were supposed to have done a tune-up on it, and didn't do a tune-up, and didn't even look at the root problem of the misfire. It takes a shade tree mechanic to fix a non-mechanic's fault that they don't know how to fix. And another thing I was going to tell you too, that she had somebody look at it for windshield wipers. Her wipers was only working on high. They wouldn't work on the intermittent and low, and she only had high. So I fixed it also. So yeah, it takes a shade tree mechanic to fix some of this stuff. So I'll finish the video after this. Okay, here's some of my final thoughts on this project here. After I've gotten the fuel injectors put in, I got a couple of injectors I put in, and now I got it running back together. No check engine light. And guess what? Purrs like a kitten. So I had a faulty injector. No more miss on number 2. So fuel injectors fixed the problem. I also had to fix the windshield wipers on this thing too. My cousin complained about wipers, and supposedly they were supposed to, the place that she took it to, they were supposed to fix it, and they didn't. I fixed it. I fixed her miss. So now she's got a good vehicle. So I want to have another final thoughts on my 2 new wrenches I picked up. I used both of these, my new wrenches, my ratchets, on this project. Figured where I got them, might as well use them, put them to the test. Absolutely love that, and I absolutely love that. That's the longest 3/8 drive flex head that I've ever had. I've never had a locking flex head. Absolutely love it. Works perfect, works great, worked out awesome. So yeah, I'll be using that for many years to come, hopefully. I don't break them. Also this, I'll be using it too, quite a bit. So yeah, this project here, I got my cousin's vehicle running good for her. I got to test out 2 new tools, and I made a little money. So yeah, that's what it's all about. So if you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. Give me your comments, what you think. And this is Chef Shade Tree out. Have a good one.